All right, welcome students. We are going to be learning about similar polygons today. And in similar polygons, this is from 8th grade math, and you're probably going to recognize a lot of this information. We're going to start here with vocabulary, and the first vocab term that we have is similar polygon. And you probably know similar polygons as being the same shape but not necessarily the same size. The formal definition for that is two polygons are similar if corresponding angles are congruent. That's what gives it the same shape when all the angles are exactly the same. And corresponding side lengths are proportional. That means that they're not necessarily the same size. But proportional means that they have a scale factor between them. Okay, so if you look at this one is the same shape because we've got a right angle. We have a single arc, double arc, triple arc, triple arc. So all of the angles are the same, so it's the same shape, but it's not the same size. But if you look, 8, when you change it into 16, that's doubling it. So if all the other sides are being doubled, then we know it's similar. So 8 is being doubled into 16, 8's being doubled into 16, and 24 is doubled into 24. So these are similar, so that's why this one is an example. But if you look over here, in this one, you've got 27 and 53. So I need to find this angle right here. So 27, 53, I would use my calculator, add those together. 27 plus 53. And then I'm going to use the triangle sum theorem to find out what this missing angle is. Remember, they all have to add up to be 180. If these two add up to be 80, that means this one right here has to be 100. But if this is 27 and this is 110, then you can already see that they're not going to match. So here, I'm going to do the same thing again. 110 plus 27, that equals 137. If I subtract that from 180, I get this one is 43. Okay, so you can see that these angles do not match. Therefore, that is a counter example. They kind of look the same shape, but not the same size. They kind of look similar, but they are definitely not. All right, so vocabulary for the next term. The next one is scale factor. And here we know that if two polygons are similar, then the ratio of the lengths of two sides, or two corresponding sides, is called the scale factor. Okay, so here we're going to use the same diagram, so I'm just going to draw an arrow for the diagram, and then we're going to write some details about the diagram. All right, so here I've got A, point A, and see that's a right angle, so it's going to match this one over here, so that's J. So I'm going to put J here. B is the single arc, so it has to match the single arc, so that's K. So the next one is K. C is a double arc, so it's going to match this double arc, which is L. And D is the triple arc, so it's going to match this triple arc, which is M. So that's how you make sure that you match up the letters. And you must, in similar figures, you must match the vertices, and all of the angles must correspond, and all of the sides are corresponding. All right, the scale factor of this to this, that tells you which direction you're going. You're going in this direction. That means you're going from small to large. When you're going from small to large, that is an enlargement. So small to large, we call that an enlargement. And the scale factor, SF, for scale factor, must be greater than 1. When you're going backwards from if they've listed these letters over here, J, K, L, M, to A, B, C, D, that's going from large to small. So large to small, that is a reduction. And that means that the scale factor must be less than 1. So up here, we said that this one was being doubled. If you go from this one to this one, it's being doubled. And doubled means multiplied by 2. And since that would, from small to large, that would be an enlargement, we know that the scale factor is to be bigger than 1, so we say that it is 2. Otherwise, if we're going backwards, what do we multiply 24 by to get 12? We multiply it by 1/2. So here, this would be 1/2. And that's why it says less than 1. Okay, the symbol right here, that is the similar symbol. So it's kind of like congruent, but without the equal sign. Okay, let's do a couple of examples. Here's special note. Order of the letters counts. Remember, you must write the vertices in order. So here, I'm going to match the angles first. So I'm going to start with C. And C in the name corresponds with M in the name. So angle C and angle M are considered to be corresponding. Those two are corresponding angles. And then I've got O and A in the name. So O and A are corresponding. So angle O corresponds to angle A. These two are corresponding. And then I've got R in the name matching I. So R and I match. So angle R is corresponding with angle I. These two are corresponding. And then I have N corresponding with Z in the name. So angle N corresponds with angle Z. Okay, so I need you to write this underneath. This is very important information, and when you come in to have your notes checked, I want to make sure that you have this written right here. To learn this concept, we used only one letter to name the angles. That was just for simplicity and time. However, in the future, I must use 3 letters to name all angles. Very, very important, folks, on your homework, on your practice work, on your test, on your quizzes. Everything, you need to make sure you're using 3 letters. Okay, now let's worry about the sides. What sides are corresponding? Well, let's see here. I started with pink and I said C. Across from C, there's 2 sides, so I just pick one. I'm just going to pick this one right here. This one right here. In between the green and the purple mark is going to be pink. Okay. Across from the purple, this is going to be the purple side. Purple matching purple. And then green. Across from the green side, green matching green. And then orange is going to match orange. Okay, so from orange to red, orange to green is going to match orange to green. Okay, so let's take a look at this. First, we start off with CO. CO, side CO. Remember, it's 2 letters to name this purple side, these 2 letters on the endpoints, and you're going to use segment notation. It's going to match MA. OR is the orange one. OR is going to match this orange one, AI. RN is going to match IZ. And they have to have segment notation. That's a Z. And then NC is going to match ZM. Okay, so what you need to know is that these 2 are corresponding right here. Those are the 2 purple ones. Then these 2 are the 2 orange ones. These are corresponding. And then these 2 are the green ones. These are, I'm sorry, the pink ones. And then these 2 are corresponding. These are the green sides. Okay. All right. That's it for page 1. Let's turn to page 2. And in page 2, we're going to be doing some more examples where we're finding the missing measures. It says find the missing measures. So if you look over here, I don't have a measure here, I don't have a measure here, I don't have a measure here or here. Then look at the big one. Oh, I see an X, I don't have a measure. I see a Y, I don't have a measure, and then all of these are blank. What they're really asking you to find is X and Y. So let's write that underneath. Find X and Y. All right, to find X and Y, I'm going to use the information that I know, and I'm going to start off with the name. SMAL is similar to BIGE, so these letters have to match up. So I'm going to start with letter S and letter B. So S has to correspond with B. So I have a 78 degrees here, but I don't have one here. And since they're congruent, angles are congruent, I'm going to write 78 degrees right here. Then the next one, M corresponds with I. So M corresponds with I. So this one is 83, but this one over here doesn't, it just has a Y. So I'm going to say this is 83, and now I already know what Y is. So that was easy. Y equals 83 degrees. So I found Y. Okay, now I'm going to match up the sides. Okay, again, A and G are matching, so there's A matching G, and L is going to match E, so L and E are matching. Okay, so now I'm just going to pick a color, and then pink. Pink side is going to be from purple to green. Purple to green, that's pink. And then I have another color, yellow. It's going to go from purple to orange. Purple to orange, that's going to be my yellow. Purple to orange, that's yellow. I don't have any measurements over here, so I'm not going to worry about those. I'm just going to worry about these 2 right here. So to find X, what I want to do is set up a proportion. So I start off with pink over pink, so that's going to be 21 over X. And you ask yourself, is there any way to reduce that? Well, if they were 2 numbers, I would be able to reduce it, but right now they're not 2 numbers, so I can't do that. Then yellow over yellow. So yellow over yellow is going to be 8. Let's see, I put 21 first, so I have to put the 18 first. So that's going to be 18 over 24. And I'm just going to go back in and write those in pencil just so you can see it. All right. And because they're similar, they should be equal, because remember, these sides are proportional, so you write a proportion. That's a ratio equaling a ratio. All right, now I'm going to cross multiply, and so that's going to be 18x equals 21 times 24. So 21 times 24, that's going to be 18x equals 504. Now, continuing with the algebraic process, I need to divide both sides by 18. So divide by 18, and I get x equals 28. So I have found my x, and I found my y. All right, now use the definition of similar polygons to solve each problem. All measurements are in centimeters. So this is the first time that they've given me units. So that means that I need to pay attention to that. If they give you units in the reading, you need to make sure your answers have units. All right, so here my instructions are to find Kn. What is Kn? I need to find La. I need to find Ar. And I need to find RG. So I have 4 answers here that I need to find. And that will be my answers right here. Okay, so to do that, I have to use the letters right here, and I have to figure out which sides are corresponding. So the TH is going to, the first 2 letters are going to correspond to the first 2 letters, so that's LA. Then the second 2 letters, HI corresponds with AR. Then IN corresponds with RG, IN and RG. Then I have NK corresponding with GE. And then I have the first and the last TK corresponding with LE. Okay, so here, if you look, we started off here with the orange one. I have a number here, but I don't have one here. Have one here, but not here. Have one here, but not here. Have one here, but not here. This is the only one where I have 2 numbers. When you have 2 numbers like this, you can find the scale factor. So what I'm doing is I'm going to say, I want to change this small one into the large one. So I'm going from this direction to here. So I'm changing think to large. Think is being changed into large. Well, to do that, I'm going to take 4. I'm going to multiply it by a scale factor, and then when I do that, I'm going to get 8. Well, to find the scale factor, all I have to do is the algebraic process. I have to divide both sides by 4. So the scale factor is 2. Now remember, we said when we're going from small to large that the scale factor, that's an enlargement, so the scale factor has to be larger than 1. Scale factor is 2. Therefore, we know that we did it correctly. Now, to find these, I just use the scale factor. I just multiply by, when I'm going this direction, I multiply by the scale factor. So here, 3 times 2 equals 6. So I know this is 3 times 2, which is 6. So LA, that's going to be 6 centimeters. Because remember, we said you have to put the label. All right, now this one, 5 times the scale factor, so that's going to be 5 times 2, which is 10. So AR is 10 centimeters. Then we have this one, 2 times 2 is 4, so we know that RG is 4 centimeters. And then the last one, we're going from here to here. So we have Kn, we have to multiply by the scale factor to get EG. But I don't have the same information. I don't have a number over here to multiply to get 12. So I fill in with what I know. I say Kn times the scale factor of 2 equals 12. Just divide both sides by 2. So I know that Kn equals 6. So up here that should be 6 centimeters. And there I found all 4 answers. All right, the last one here is testing to see if the polygons are similar. Okay, so here I have to figure out a way to figure out which sides and which angles are corresponding. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use color. From angle 1 to angle 3, angle 1 to angle 3, I'm going to say that that is red. So angle 1 to angle 3. 1 hash mark to 3 hash marks. From 1 hash mark to 2 hash marks is going to be purple. From 2 to none is going to be green. From 2 to none is green. And from 3 to none is pink. 3 to none is pink. So those are the sides that match. Okay, so first, test 1. Test number 1 is check the angles. All the angles have to be congruent. Make sure that they are congruent. Well, when you put an arc mark here with a single hash mark, you're saying that these two are congruent. When you have this one with a double and this one with a double, you're saying these are congruent. This indication right here means that these two are congruent. And what we learned back in 8th grade math is that we learned that triangles, the angles inside the triangles add up to be 180, but when you have a quadrilateral, they add up to be 360. So this plus this plus this plus this equals 360, and this, and this equal 360. If you have these three adding up to be 360, or these three plus this one adding up to be 360, these three plus this one's going to add up to be 360, so that means these two have to be the same. So check the angles are congruent. Test 2, you're checking the sides. Now the sides are not congruent, the sides are proportional. What that means is that they have to have the same scale factor. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to write ratios. Red over red, pink over pink, green over green, purple over purple. So here I'm going to put 165 is going to be over 150. And then the next one is the pink one, 128. Is going to go over the 120. And then the next one is the green one. So that's going to be 154 over 140. And then the last one is going to be 192 over 180. Well, that doesn't tell me anything. Just looking at those fractions, it doesn't tell me anything at all. So I'm going to use my calculator. Okay, in my calculator, I'm going to reduce that. 165 divided by 150. Now, to change it into a reduced improper fraction, you are going to hit the math key. And see how it's highlighted on fraction? So you're going to hit enter. And then what it's saying is you're changing the answer into a fraction, so enter again. So this reduces to 11 over 10. Then you do this one, 154 divided by 140. Math, enter, enter. It also reduces to 11 over 10. Now remember, if sides are proportional, that means all of these ratios have to be exactly the same. 128 divided by 120. That is going to be, math inner, that's going to be 16 over 15. So it fails the test right here. And then go ahead and, you don't even have to do this one. So this one is no. So are these polygons similar? The answer is no, they are not. Okay, now, the next page is check for understanding. So you need to make sure that you do 5 and 6 and bring them in. Now, number 5 is just like the one we just did where you have to do the 2 tests. So this is like number 4, just like number 4. And this one here, number 6, is finding the missing measures. So that's just like number 3. Okay, so make sure you do have these both completely done when you come to class, next class period. All right, the next one, the next page is here. And on this page, this is just kicking it up a notch. It's the same information, but they're not making it as easy on us because now they're not drawing the pictures facing the same direction. In fact, they're flipping them over, they're inverting them, and they're turning them all around, which makes it just a little bit more difficult. Well, when this happens, you have to use the name to make sure that the sides match up. So here, remember that the R, so RA, the first 2 letters, RA, has to match up with XA. So I'm going to highlight RA, R to A, has to match XA. So this side matches this side. So you see how they flipped it around? Okay, then the last 2 letters, AM, has to match AE. AM is from here to here. AE is from here to here. Okay, and now the first and the last letter, first and last, that's going to be RM. So R to M has to match E to X. Okay, they want me to find Z, and Z happens to be right here. Okay, so I'm going to look at the purple ones, the green ones, and the pink ones. Notice how there's information on the purple ones, there's information on both green ones, but there's not information on both pink ones. So I'm going to ignore the pink ones and just focus in on purple and green. Okay, so I'm going to start with the green, and I'm going to write 3 over 4. And I put the top one over the bottom one. So that means that when you write the purple one, you have to put top over bottom. So that's going to be 8 over Z. And remember, these have to be proportional, so you have to write these 2 ratios as a proportion. So you set them equal to each other. Now cross multiply. And when you cross multiply, you get 3Z equaling 4 times 8. So that is 32. Divide by 3, divide by 3. And when you do that, if you put that in your calculator, you'll see that it does not reduce. 32 divided by 3, math, inner, you get 32 over 3 back. So that is in the reduced improper fraction form. So the answer is 32 over 3. Now sometimes you'll be asked to change this into a mixed number. If you do, you're just going to divide 3 into 32. When you divide 3 into 32, that's going to go in 10 times with 2 left over. So that's this. Sometimes you'll be asked to write it as a decimal. Well, here you already have it written. You've already have it entered as a decimal. So if you're told to write it as a decimal, see how that decimal does not terminate? So you have to use the approximate symbol. So that's going to be 10.6 repeating. Or sometimes a teacher may ask you to round. When you round, you still have to use the approximate symbol. So if I say round that to the nearest hundredths, you're going to look at the 6, the third 6, and you can say, well, 6 rounds up, so I'm going to change this one to 7, so that could be 10.67. So there's a variety of ways that you can answer this. You just have to pay attention to what the teacher is asking you to do. Okay, next, the last one that we're going to do today is here, and we are going to use color to match up the letters. So A to B on this one here, AB. So ABC, so AB of this side is going to match DB of this side. So these are two triangles that are just standing up next to each other. All right, BC down here has to match BA. And BA is this one right here, from B to A. So you can see they're just two separate triangles standing right up next to each other. All right, and then the last one, A to C, from A to C, that's going to be the same thing as D to A. So D to A. All right, it says find M, find N. And then you'll see that there's information on all three of them. Well, if you look, what we've been doing before is writing green over green equals purple over purple. Sometimes that doesn't work. For example, if we put green over green, there's information here. So this is 3, so we know this is 3. Oh, my pencil's not working, sorry. Okay, so here to find M, I'm going to use pink, so that's where I'm going to use the pink ones. And since there's information here with the green ones, I'm going to use the green and the pink, comparing those. So green, first, that's going to be 3 over 4. And I went from the small to the large, so I have to put small to large from left to right. So that's going to be M over 6. Now, cross multiply. I'm going to do this in my calculator. That's going to be 4M equaling 3 times 6. So 4M equals 18. 18 divided by 4, that's 4.5. So this time I'm going to leave it as a decimal. So that's going to be 4.5. So up here I'm going to put 4.5. Now I'm going to find N. And again, I'm going to use the green ones, but this time I'm going to use the yellow ones as well. So here, that's going to be, the yellow ones are going to be 3 over N. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to go left to right because we read left to right. So that's going to be N over 3. And these are the yellow ones. And that's going to equal the green ones, and that's going to be 3 over 4. Cross multiplying, I get 4n equaling 3 times 3, which is 9. Divide by 4, divide by 4. So 9 divided by 4 is 2.25. So divide by 4, n equals 2.25. 2.25. Okay, so that's how you do that. Now, there is one more page, but this is a check for understanding page. So you're going to have a combination of different kinds of things that you're going to look for. When it says altitude, we're talking about this line in here, the height of the triangle. When it's a scale factor, remember you're going to put this over this. Now, to read this, that's 10 2/5. You're welcome to change that into 10 2/5. into a decimal, 2 divided by 5 is 0.4. So 10 and 2/5 would be 10.4. This one is 4/5. 4 divided by 5 is 0.8. So this would be 19.8. Just to make things a little bit simpler. Okay, so make sure you have 9, 10, 11, and 12 completely done when you come into class. And folks, that's it for Notes 6.3.